All Falls Down by Kanye West, a cultural criticism by Gilbert Martinez. This is a very lyrical song, and it is surely a cultural analysis of the African American female and male. Here's a link to the video. This is an excellent video and should be watched for the massive amounts of imagery and symbolism involved. It is a shot in a first-person view and gives direct insight of the character's role in society with cultural and racial conflicts. However, we will focus on the lyrics only here. We'll make a couple of references to the video, but we will be focusing on the lyrics. The song opens up with the hook. It opens up with repetition of negative quotes. Oh, when it all falls down, it all falls down. I'm telling you, oh, it all falls down. This help introduces the upcoming conflicts that will be involved with the character himself. Verse 1. This introduces highlights of the African American woman's push towards materialism versus progression. A few quotes here. She has no idea what she's doing in college, but she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her funny. Sophomore 3 years, ain't picked a career. She like, fuck it, I'll just stay down here and do hair. Single black female addicted to retail. This here not only represents African American culture with schooling, but also cultural conflicts within society, especially females. The artist here does highlight that and wants to make everyone aware that this are cultural conflicts within the African American female's life. Verse 2. This here introduces the African American male's similarity in the materialism spectrum and the expectation of social class. Here we'll break down each line individually. Man, I promise I'm self-conscious. That's why you always see me with at least one of my watches. The artist makes this reference as it pertains to being above others financially, which is naturally meaningful in this culture. The next line, then I spent $400 on this, just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. This line is different. This makes reference as it involves the artist's insecurities of needing to visually show his wallet. And then finally on the last, even if you in a Benz, you still a nigga in a coupe. This here also has a different interpretation. The artist here explains that although he may be able to afford the nice item, he will still be in part of a lower class. And he will only be perceived as an African American male, nothing more. There is still also a double meaning here at the end of the line, coupe. This is a double meaning in that the line helps to signify the trapping of his class. Coupe also referring to a coop or cage of some sort. Verse 3. We buy our way out of jail, but we can't buy freedom. The artist is fully aware of his own role in society. He is able to be his own person, but remains a prisoner of the system that he is in. We buy a lot of clothes, but we don't really need them. Things we buy to cover up what's inside. Here the artist continues to elaborate on the materialism that plagues his culture. The artist is aware that this is a problem and an issue, but states that it is still necessary within his culture. The next lines. 'Cause they make us hate ourselves and love they wealth. We all self-conscious, I'm just the first to admit it. The artist has a vendetta against the other class, making his own culture not wanting to be who they are as individuals, but rather preferring to be someone else to fit and be a part of the higher class. And finally, the artist explains that the culture as a whole is all under the same pressure and is making note of it. In the video here, you'll see an image here The individual here is actually entering a bathroom, and he sees a mirror. The mirror initially starts as a blur, but then the artist washes his eyes with water, and he becomes everything. There's a clarity, and he can see everything clear. He sees the stain on his shirt, sees that he has this white tee, but it's stained, still symbolizing him not being pure. But here the artist does make a realization of his own place in society and his class. Thank you for listening. Again, this is a great video, great lyrics, and you should definitely give it a watch and a listen. Thank you.